I want to talk about the story where it gets really, really weird. This is a sign. This story right here is a sign to me of the collapse. It's a very slow collapse. The first thing I'll say, I'll give you the story. Boston Pride, LGBT Pride, dissolves amid diversity complaints. An organization that's been around for 50 years to advocate for LGBT rights has dissolved because Black Lives Matter activists said that they didn't have enough diversity on their board. Now, I want to mention something. I say it's a slow collapse, right? We went to a diner today to pick up some Petty Melts. We got everybody these burgers. They're so good.
Oh, they were good.
They were delicious. And a peanut butter pie. And there's a sign on the door. And this shocked me. It said, it's something like, forgive us. From now on, we'll be operating only 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. as we attempt to rectify our staffing shortages. Half the diner was closed. Like they had the signs up like, you can't sit here. And they were completely understaffed. And a diner that closes at 5 p.m. Nothing to do with pride or whatever, but it's just like the food shortages, the chaos, the unemployment stuff. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. We'll come back to that. I just want to mention that's part of the slow collapse. But look at this story. They say this decision was made with a heavy heart. Out of love and hope for a better future, the organization's board said in a statement. Boston Pride, the organization that has organized the city's pride celebrations for 50 years, has announced it's shutting down. The dissolution, announced Friday afternoon in a statement on the group's website, comes after the reportedly all-white board of directors had faced ongoing accusations of ignoring racial minorities and transgender people. It is clear to us that our community needs and wants change without the involvement of Boston Pride. Here's the quote. We have heard, I'm going to read the quote, okay? We have heard the concerns of the QTBIPOC community and others. The statement continued. I don't know what that means. And I'm not trying to be mean to the Quit BIPOC. Cute BIPOC. Is that what it's supposed to be? Yeah. I don't. Look, these people are increasingly. There was a video I saw of this like young woman, and it's a viral TikTok where she's like, you can use new words for your non-binary parents, like Zizo and Zorbda. I'm not kidding. She was like, pom-pom, Pina, Dofi. And I'm like, you're just saying gibberish words. What are you doing? That's where we're at right now. These young people are like, I can make up a thing. And so they make up a thing. And then the people who make up a thing go to the established thing and say, you have to shut down because we made a thing up. And they go, okay. And then it shuts down. How do we function as a society? Look, I'm sure there's a bunch of conservatives, cracking cigars and laughing, watching this. But I'm like, Boston Pride, 50 years of fighting for LGBT rights and quite successfully. And now they're shut down just like that.
Wow. It's like Occupy Wall Street. That was my experience at Occupy. I went and I brought the Constitution. I was like, yo, I'm going to tell people about the Federal Reserve. I'm going to rally the troops. And when I went up, the girl was like, I was going to go speak to some news organization. And the girl was like, no, we've already had too many white people speak to the news. I was like, what? I'm about to blow people's minds, dude. Let me at it. And they wouldn't. So I was like, well, too much racism for good stuff at the top.
It's just demands for power, man.
And the
so
Fed,
weird.
Long live the Ron Paul Revolution.
That's what we're up to, man. Repeal the Federal Reserve Act of 1913.
For the polarization among the left is ridiculous. Their desire to fraction off into little pieces is crazy, especially because I always thought, and I could be wrong about this, but I'm going to pretend like it's authoritative. The rainbow flag was like all colors can be within the LGBT community. If that's not real, it sounds like it makes sense and they should adopt that. But yeah, there's a desire among lefties to do what I think Thomas Sowell refers to as like mascotism. Like they want to have black mascots,
right?
That aren't necessarily they don't necessarily have anything to do with the organization, but as long as they're there and it looks nice, and it's weirdly to give the illusion of fighting racism, but in reality, there's like nothing more racist than like I want a black logo.
Tokenism.
Yeah, so that you can think I'm virtuous. You know what I mean?
I will say I'm actually surprised they did this, but they did add a white stripe to the new LGBT flag. So,
but what is the white stripe for though?
White people.
Really? I would doubt that.
I mean, I look at a flag that's got a black and a brown stripe for black and brown people, and then there's a white stripe and then a yellow triangle. The only thing I can say is if they say the stripes represent the color of the people, well, there's a white stripe.
They're like, life is not black and white, Ian.
You know that flag is copyrighted, right? That new one?
Really?
Yeah.
It's owned by somebody? You mean the one with the purple circle in it?
I don't know if that's the circle, but it's like the one with the black and brown with the diamond. It looks like the ripoff of the Puerto
we
Rican
got it.
flag.
Yeah.
I think my biggest problem is the level of intelligence of the people that we're talking about, because people are not black and white at all, and we never have been. But the people are just accepting these dumb phrases of black and white, and then they're saying it anyway, is concerning to me.
My favorite thing about the whole critical race theory stuff, the critical race applied principles, is that they're like, whiteness doesn't mean white people. We're not saying it's whiteness. It's a structure of this system. Black and brown means literally the color of your skin. It's like
Black. There's no black skin.
No,
Black
it's like
is a
clearly they mean white people when they're saying whiteness.
Well, you always got to like get these people and ask them, okay, what's the difference between a white supremacist nation and a white majority nation? Like, they won't be able to tell you. And I didn't think of that. I got that question from Devin Tracy.
Well,
Like,
here's a question: what's the difference between a white supremacist nation and a Chinese majority nation?
well, they would be
Because
potentially Chinese supremacists.
Well, exactly. But they would say whiteness. They would say, oh, well, I kid you not. They would say something like, well, because the Chinese population is the majority in China, they're white. I mean, they think Asian people are white anyway. So, but yeah, but I will say it's just this flag, in my opinion, represents that there was no committee vote on this. It was like someone did it, and it was a meme. And that shows that a lot of what's happening on the left is basically, I view it as kind of like you ever see that horror movie, The Blob?
Yeah, a long time ago.
Of
Which
course.
one?
There was one. It was like in the 80s, I think.
That's the one
Carpenter.
I saw.
Yeah.
John Carpenter's
Yeah,
The
like
Blob.
it lands in the meteor or something,
Yeah,
and then
that
it
was
like
freaky.
it's small, but then it eats something, a rodent, and then it grows a little bigger.
Nightmares
That's
about
exactly what it is, right? That's what the left is doing right now. It's just absorbing institutions and then growing bigger, but it's nonsensical. It's just a heaping mass. You can see it. It's nondescript, and it's insane. And it's ripping itself. Well, it's ripping everything apart. It's just destroying things.
And it's based on nonsense. Like the whole thing about black trans women being killed more. My friend Nuancebro did a video on this, and he found that black trans women have a lower rate of death by homicide than regular black men. Like, so biological males that just identify as male. I don't know why I'm over-explaining that.
Well,
but
You did a good job.
So I want to just kind of wrap this into the conversation we're at large, is that we're talking about, we start off talking about the balkanization of this country. Why is it possible, in my opinion, that we're heading towards this? Because this stuff makes no sense. Boston Pride shuts down because Black Lives Matter accused them of not having enough diversity. So they just shut down their civil rights organization after 50 years, just like that. Bro, if it's that easy to dissolve an organization, and we're at, a roughly 35%, probably not a fair number, but, it's the best number we got. How hard do you think it's really going to be to dissolve these bonds?
They did that in Toronto, remember, too. A couple years ago, they sat down in front of the
Oh,
gay
that's
pride
right.
parade,
Yeah.
and then they gave them a list of demands. Where I come from, that's called taking hostages.
They had a huge acronym that I was trying to read. I'm not kidding. It was like it was like QTII 39. Like I'm not trying to be mean. I'm like
there's
literally
like a number 2 in it too.
Yeah, two
like-
Yeah. But
Yeah.
but no, I'm not. So there's LGBTQII. LGBTQIAP2
It's like
plus.
IAA. Yeah, there's a plus. In
No,
there.
but there's another one which is a reference to marginalized people, not like the LGBT one is a reference to like gender identities and sexuality, and the other one is based on racial identities and racial and culture. So that one is like, you know how they do like what is it, Asian Pacific Islander or whatever it's called,
AAPI or whatever.
AAPI or whatever.
Yeah.
There was one like that, and it was like AAPI T3 S2911.
That's like a robot's name.
Yeah. it is.
T2 was a way better movie than T3. I'm just throwing out
T2
that
was
controversial opinion. No, but it gets crazy. My favorite one that's included in there isn't the Two-Spirit. It's the second A for ally. It's like,
What?
That's just, there's one of them is ally. So if you're a straight and
A straight.
a straight and
A cis heteronormative.
Oh, I was thinking about cis and trans. There's the Romans had trans-alpine Gaul and cis-alpine Gaul. I don't know if this is relevant.
Trans
to
and
what we're talking
cis are.
What
means
the heck?
beyond and nearer to.
That's
Cis is
literally,
nearer
that's
to,
literally
trans
why
is
they
beyond.
say you're a cis person or a trans person. They
Okay.
say cis is a reference to like.
I'm glad that
You know,
I got that out.
But like if you're straight, then like you get to be in the acronym, and it's like, dude, that's not for you. Just stop, go, get out of there.
Like they
I'm
added a
gonna-
white stripe to the flag.
We still don't know what it's for.
It doesn't matter what they say it's for. If the black and brown represent black and brown people, the white stripe represents white people.
Is the white stripe underneath the black and brown stripe?
No, it's underneath the blue and periwinkle stripe.
That may,
I
that
gotta
may,
look at
pink.
this picture.
that may be
What is this called?
that may be
that's
white
I just looked up
supremacy
LGBT
if it's,
flag.
if it's above it. I'm just gonna say that.
Well, it is the first stripe.
Racism.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whites are gonna be asexual.
No, the isn't that what the yellow is for?
What is the yellow?
I'm
then
not
there's a
going to
purple
say
circle.
what I thought the
Yeah,
yellow
I
was
won't
for
say
because
either.
that was a bad answer.
Super racist.
I think they're missing the point of white.
I was going to say Pikachu, like
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the Pokemon.
So my family had a cafe in on North Halsted in Chicago, which is like it's Boys Town, it's the gay neighborhood, and then there's
The one where Jussie Smollett was attacked.
no, he wasn't there. He was in downtown.
Okay.
North Halsted is several miles north. It's by Wrigley Field, and then there's Boys Town and Ladies Town, and I forgot what Ladies Town's actual name is, but that's where the lesbians are at, and then the gay men are in Boys Town. But I was told when I was there that the flag represented different aspects of the gay community, not races or anything like that. I don't know for sure though, but it's weird to see that they added race to it.
Yeah, I thought it was
'cause-
just like flamboyant colors that they liked wearing.
no,
crazy
they
colors.
they
and they're
represent
like-
something.
I-
They represent something.
I thought it was them being extra because normally one cause, one color, and they're like, we want all the colors.
That
How
makes
about
sense
that?
to me.
They're like, deal with gray if you want to be opposed to us.
I don't like the whites on there because when you look at a rainbow, all the colors, it's white light. And only if you look at it through a prism do you start to see all the colors of the rainbow, which is the flag, is the colors of the rainbow.
Well, like when they combined all of the lantern rings, they created the White Lantern Corps.
there we
Yeah,
go.
'cause all the light
You're
came
proving
together.
my point, Tim.
I'm just saying, like the new flag's got a white stripe in it.
Oh, man. See, I think of myself as an ally. I think of myself as like an ally to people in general, to these people of all kinds. But I don't virtue signal.
Would you ally with the Blob? Let me put it this way: the Blob consumes a Krispy Kreme,
I think that would be
and
a
you
game
like
time.
Krispy Kreme, and you're like, I'm a fan of the Blob because it consumed Krispy Kreme.
It's a game
Nah,
time
dude.
decision because if no, I probably wouldn't ally with the Blob.
This is what I'm trying to say. I believe in civil rights. I'm actually fairly moderately left on a lot of the social justice causes. But when you have a blob that consumes institutions, I'm not going to pretend the blob
But
represents
the
those
Blob is
institutions
full
anymore.
of people, so you can
No,
you
they
can
dissolved a long time
interact
ago.
with those people. Well,
I would say you can't use their language. Like the reason they use the term like social justice, and which is why I named my channel to be the opposite of that, is because it's like, oh, I'm not against societal progress and justice, but like once we start adopting their language, it doesn't work. I agree with you. I'm like, in terms of social issues, I'm really libertarian, but like we can't use their terms.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
it's
that's absolutely. So just to simplify, when the blob, when I see like, you know, an LGBT, you know, pride campaign or something, or Boston Pride, and they're like, we believe that we should have the right to live freely and be in our homes and all, I'm like, I hear you, man. Then a blob consumes them, and then the blob, like a face comes out of the flesh of the blob, but it's like just like a flat blob face going, I believe in rights. I'm like, that's not Boston Pride. That's something else.
I knew you once.
Yeah, remember
No
like
longer.
Have you ever seen The Frighteners
No.
with Michael J. Fox?
Nope.
You never seen it? Oh, I've
heard of it, though.
There's like the walls, like it's like someone's pushing out through like latex. That's what it looks like. That's what it would be like when the blob is rolling by, and then you see like, you know, a civil rights activist come on and go support civil rights.
They can be
Like,
exercised from the Blob. It just takes strategic surgery, mental surgery.
It's also weird how these movements kind of imitate real life, because there is more homophobia among like the black community in the United States of America. On average, obviously there's pockets of like, you know, evangelical Christians or actually Mormons are nice to everybody. They just want to play board games with you. But there's like pockets of it. So like for a like supposed black civil rights movement to bully out of existence a gay civil rights movement, it's really like it's like almost like the movements are imitating their base.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. If you want to see the full show, come back to this channel, youtube.com/TimcastIRL, Monday through Friday at 8 p.m., where you can leave comments and super chat, and we actually will read your comments on the show. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and if you want exclusive members-only content, segments you can't get anywhere else, go to timcast.com, become a member, and we even have full bonus episodes. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.